The war in Ukraine has triggered a turbulence in the global food market. Amid the escalating food insecurity, the United Nations Security Council held a meeting devoted to the humanitarian situation in Ukraine. A top US diplomat accused Russia of having caused the global food crisis. The US Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman emphasized that Russia has put people at the risk of famine by starting the war in Ukraine, which serves as a breadbasket for Europe. Holding Vladimir Putin responsible, Sherman further said that Putin created this global food crisis and he is the one who can stop it.
The impacts of Putin's war are being felt far beyond Ukraine's borders as well, with some of the most immediate and dangerous implications for global food security. The Russian Navy is blocking access to Ukraine's ports, essentially cutting off exports of grain. They're reportedly preventing approximately 94 ships carrying food for the world market from reaching the Mediterranean.
Russia's UN ambassador Vasilina Benzia rejected the accusations and instead blamed Western sanctions on Russia for the food crisis. But the US Deputy State Secretary countered by asserting that sanctions were not fueling the global food crisis. The director of the World Food Programme, David Beasley, warned that the war in Ukraine was threatening to devastate their efforts to feed some 125 million people globally. Beasley told the 15-member UN Security Council that 50% of the grain brought by the WFP comes from Ukraine. The WFP chief asserted that due to the war, Ukraine had gone from being the breadbasket of the world to breadlines. Beasley added that the crisis was compounded by a lack of fertilizer products coming from Belarus and Russia. Both Russia and Ukraine are major cereal producers. Ukraine and Russia represent 30% of world wheat exports, 20% for corn and 75% for sunflower oil. Millions across North Africa, the Middle East and parts of Asia are left facing the potential loss of access to the affordable supplies. The war has raised the threat of food shortages and political instability in countries reliant on Ukrainian wheat. This is including Indonesia, Egypt, Yemen and Lebanon. Food insecurity is already a problem in Afghanistan, Yemen and in the Horn of Africa. The Ukraine conflict is only making things worse in the world's biggest humanitarian crisis. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.